Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Chrysalis Yugioh deck profile for May 2020. I've been really wanting to update this very fun Yu-Gi-Oh deck where the focus of the Chrysalis deck is focused mainly on the plays you can do with the Chrysalis monsters and all the different Neospatian monsters we have for the deck. So we don't focus at all on any of the Elemental Hero Neos plays or any of the Neos fusions. I just think it's really fun to incorporate the plays you do with all the different cocoon, spell, and traps, special summoning out a bunch of different Chrysalis monsters onto the field, using them for other extra deck plays, and then when you need the additional effects of the Neospatians, being able to contact them up into their, basically, I would say, grown-up forms, and then use those different effects as well. It's a really, really fun deck. I loved making the deck originally, and just feel the deck definitely needed an update since the last profile. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the actual Chrysalis monsters, for the numbers, I've decided to run 2 of each of the Chrysalis monsters. So I'm running 2 Chrysalis Dolphin and 2 Chrysalis Chicky, 2 Chrysalis Mole, 2 Chrysalis Penny, 2 Chrysalis Larva, and 2 Chrysalis Pantail, with all of them having the same effect. You contribute this card with Neospace is on the field to special summon 1 Neospatian of the according monsters, so you'll be able to summon your Aqua Dolphin, Glowboss, Flare Scarab, Dark Panther, Grand Mole, and Hummingbird, all according with each of the different Chrysalis monster that we run in the deck. I run 2 of each. I feel that's the best number, just so you have the different names to work with for cards like Cocoon Party, the different special summoning options, so you always have 1 extra Chrysalis monster to go into, so it just really helps to fill out the whole point of the deck, which is the use of the Chrysalis monsters for all of your different Neospatian plays. So altogether 12 Chrysalis monsters in total. And then going on to the Neospatians, I have a few differing numbers for the Neospatians, and it'll make sense later on when we get to the spells, but I am running 2 Neospatian Aqua Dolphin and 2 Neospatian Glowmoss. Like I said, the numbers for these ones are going to play more into the fact when we get to the spells and the extra deck for a little more fun play that I wanted to add into the actual deck profile that you can do as just an additional step with the extra deck, with Glowmoss having the draw effect for your opponent and Aqua Dolphin being able to basically have the discard effect for your opponent by using your monsters, looking at your opponent's hand and choosing a monster with attack greater than or equal to 1 in your opponent's hand. For the rest of the Neospatian monsters, I am running the 1 Flare Scarab, the 1 Dark Panther, the 1 Grand Mole, and the 1 Air Hummingbird. You can special summon all these cards back from the graveyard as well with some of the other Cocoon cards, so just being able to rely on these numbers alone is good enough, I'd say. If you want to adjust any of the numbers, you can always mix around the other ratios with Aqua Dolphin and Glowmoss. You have easy methods to special summon out the other Neospatian monsters and then just be able to, special summon the different Chrysalis monsters to contact them up when Neospace is on the field as well. But I feel these are the numbers I wanted for this profile just to work very, very well with the other play, which I said we'll get to when we go over the spells. For the rest of the monsters in the main deck, I run 2 Neospace connectors. Aside from the fact that you can just easily special summon a Neospatian monster, it just helps for that additional play for your extra deck, being able to go for a Link 2 very easily by special summoning out the Neospatian of your choice. Plus also, let's say you're not opening up any of the specific Chrysalis for a certain Neospatian, so you can easily just get that Neospatian, special summon it out, and then worry about the Chrysalis later down the line if you really need to summon it out with some of the other cards. It helps for all the different Link 2 plays we can do in the deck, and plus being a warrior monster, it just gives us another target to go with for reinforcements of the army, because most of the time when I use reinforcements of the army, I don't really like going for Aqua Dolphin unless I have to. Going for Connector at least gives us one additional play we can rely on in the deck when we don't have the copious amounts of Chrysalis monsters to summon out either. And that is it for the monsters. I want to focus solely on the Neospatian plays, along with just that a little more help for the Neospace connector. If you didn't want to run connector in the deck and just go, completely into the Neospace, Chrysalis, Neospatian plays, you can remove the 2 Neospace connectors and put in 2 Pathfinder. It is the level 4 warrior that searches out Neospace by discarding it to the graveyard. You can basically go for that play just as an additional searcher. We do run the terraforming and also the metaverse in the extra deck also, that can be another option for that search in the deck. But that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 of probably my favorite card in the entire deck. I love it for the artwork. I love it for the actual effect, and that is Cocoon Party. You special summon 1 Chrysalis monster from your deck for each Neospatian monster with a different name in your graveyard. So just having that option to special summon out a bunch of different cocoons onto the field is the best play to go for sure. Especially, that's why I like to run the additional numbers of all the different cocoon, I say cocoons, but they're Chrysalis monsters as well for that play. As long as you have more and more Neospatians, you can go for the different Neospatians for those cocoon cards and then just use those for the additional resources. This is just an easy way to special summon a bunch of different monsters onto the field for you to use. So you definitely need to run 3 of it. As long as you have those different Neospatians in your graveyard, you have the just consistency to have a bunch of different monsters on the field, and it's why I like to run the 2 of each of the Chrysalis monster, because then you can just use this card again for that special summon after you use the Chrysalis monsters, let's say for a link play as well, because this card is not a once per turn either. As long as you have the Chrysalis monsters to summon out, you can use this card again, which is awesome. And I also run the 3 Neospace. You can't, use the Chrysalis Tribute Evolution effect unless you have Neospace to rely on. Also, Elemental Heroes and all fusion monsters that specifically list Elemental Hero Neos as fusion material gain 500 attack. Fusion monsters that would be shuffled back. We're not using this for the fusion or the boost. We're using this for the point of the Chrysalis, which is tributing it to special summon out your Neospatian monster. So as long as you have the Neospace on the field, you'll be able to, evolve your Chrysalis monsters into their grown-up forms. And I run the 1 terraforming. It's just great to have that additional search power as well in the deck to rely on, so you can easily get this card into your hand, because otherwise you're just sitting on Chrysalis monsters that don't do anything unless you have this field spell to rely on also. That's why I'm also running 3 of it, to better our odds of adding it into our hand. And I also run 2 Cocoon Rebirth. This is the card I spoke of that works very, very well when you have the Neospatians in your graveyard already set up. You contribute 1 face-up Chrysalis monster you control to special summon 1 Neospatian monster written in its card text of that card from either player's graveyard. Now, I don't know how often you'll be playing against another person that has Neospatians in their graveyard as well, but it's an added option that could potentially come up, but also just being able to have this play works great for the Neospace connector play I spoke of. If you already go for the Neospatian, then if you have that said Chrysalis monster of the same name, and then you can just tribute it. You don't even need the Neospace on the field to get that play. You can just rely on Cocoon Rebirth as an added option. If your opponent does destroy the Neospace, you still have other options to get the grown-up forms onto the field to use. And the play I was talking about before, I am running 2 Nex or Neospatian Extent. With this one, you send 1 face-up Neospatian monster you control to the graveyard to special summon 1 level 4 monster with the same name from your extra deck. I just thought it'd be a lot of fun just having that additional play to run Marine Dolphin and Twinkle Moss in the extra deck as a go-to play. It's why I'm running the additional numbers of Glow Moss and also Aqua Dolphin in the extra deck, so you just have better chances of, summoning out these 2 monsters and then using your Neospatian Extent spell card to give you definitely a stronger form of the other 2, since they have better effects, which we'll get to when we go over the extra deck as well to rely on. So very, very useful there as well. And I'm also running 2 Space Gift. I thought of using either Space Gift or basically Convert Contact. The setup for both is very nice, but I ended up with Space Gift just for the draw power. If you wanted to try Convert Contact, the only way it worked a little better for me is it set up more Neospatians in my graveyard to better use Cocoon Party. So it goes off of what you would prefer. You can use the Space Gift if you wanted the draw power, but if you wanted to go for more of the actual special summon power with Cocoon Party, then you can go for Convert Contact and then just swap out the Space Gift for that card. Or you can, put in the Convert Contacts for the next spell, which is Transmodify. I like it. It works with all of the Chrysalis monsters except for Chrysalis Dolphin, because Chrysalis Dolphin is a fish and Aqua Dolphin is a warrior. Transmodify has to be the same type and attribute. So otherwise it works for all the other 5, but I'd say the bonus benefit still comes in the fact that we can search out Aqua Dolphin with our reinforcements in the army if we need to, but we also have Neospace. But this is just an option in case you don't get to the Neospace quick enough. It's just 1 additional card that can get you the grown-up form of the Chrysalis monsters onto the field. And then for some of the 1-up spells, I'm running 1 Reinforcements of the Army and 1 Monster Reborn, just for easy special summon, and the Search Power as well. Once again, if you don't run Connector and you want to go for Pathfinder, it's still searchable with Reinforcements of the Army, and then it can be a search for your Neospace as well. Completely player preference up to that point. And for the only trap, I thought about using Cocoon Veil. It's more of an effect damage kind of card, so more of a side option if you really wanted to side it in for the plays. But I am running the 1 Metaverse Neospace, very important field spell, so just a quicker way to get it onto the field. I'm making this video prior to the ban list. If they end up hitting, Terraforming or Metaverse, you can take both of these cards out for, Neospace Pathfinder and just keep Neospace Connector in the deck as well, if you do fear that either one of those cards will get hit. But that's only if they end up getting hit. If not, keep it the way it is and take out Neospace Connector for Pathfinder if you end up wanting that search play more than the other one. But that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. For the Neospatian Extent cards, I am running 1 Twinkle Moss and 1 Marine Dolphin. Just for the overall, it's basically a better play for both of those cards, giving you the draw power for Twinkle Moss, and then just going for the fact that with the once per turn, discard 1 card to look at your opponent's hand, and then select 1 monster in it. And if you control a monster with greater attack, it's a boosted effect for the Aqua Dolphin, just having the higher attack and the better options. Twinkle Moss definitely being the better of the two, I'd say, to go for, but just having both of the options definitely makes for a fun play that you can rely on also in the deck altogether. For the rest of the extra deck, I'm playing a good number of rank 2s, so 1 Sky Cavalry Centaria, 1 Daigusto Phoenix, 1 Gachi Gachi Gantetsu, and I'm also running 2 Phantom Knights of Cursed Javelin. All of the Chrysalis monsters are level 2, so when you don't, convert or contact them into their adult forms, you have the level 2 monsters to exceed into your rank 2s for some pretty strong plays. Also, for the Link monsters, I'm running 1 Pentastag, 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Topologic Trisbana, 1 Borolo Dragon, and 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. The Link monsters, especially with all the different monsters we can special summon out with this deck, definitely do play for a key part for going up against your opponent with some stronger monsters, and especially setting up some stronger monsters on the field to use with Aqua Dolphin as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. It's definitely a fun deck. I've always been a fan of the Chrysalis monsters and just their art style and their play style. It was a shame they always get overlooked, sadly, with a good amount of the Neospatian deck profile. So I just wanted a focus on the deck with just the Neospatian and the Chrysalis plays. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.